Hi there, my name's Daniel Monteith, and you might know me from playing in the rock band Monteith. Some people say... Hi there, my name's Daniel Monteith, and some people say I play in the greatest rock band on earth. For a long time now, when I've been playing guitar, I've recognized within myself that I'll often go into lead guitar passages with the same toolkit. So I notice myself, I'll start a solo or I'll start a lead from the same point. So noticing this, I think any guitar player would have a similar kind of goal to want to reduce the amount of passages that are predictable. Furthermore, I'd like to differentiate between having a distinct guitar style and your playing becoming the result of your practice exercises. I'll often lead with techniques that I practice, but if you're playing live, you don't want to be busting out your practice exercises and calling it a solo. Two examples that I've noticed of this within myself. I'll lead into a passage from the same standpoint. I'll demonstrate an example of this that I begin from a half arpeggio of a kind. The problem becomes, with what I was doing, is that if I'm starting from the same point each time, I'm bringing in exercises rather than actual lead guitar playing. Another example of this that I've noticed within my own playing is the tendency to lean in with 3 notes on each string going up a scale, and then to continue on from that point. We all use exercises, and we all use them to develop what becomes our lead style. So we all might have our pentatonic runs, where we might incorporate, or using our traditional rock repertoire tricks, such as... So using exercises within your lead playing can be a good thing. However, the thought that occurred to me is that a lot of our exercises and our patterns that become our lead playing tend to happen in larger groups. So if I'm doing a 6-note passage that's part of my regular exercise repertoire, that means there are 6 notes that I'm more than likely guaranteed to play within a passage. And where this can tend to become a problem is that using large groups of notes at once that are almost guaranteed becomes predictable. The immediate conclusion that I've sort of arrived at as far as attempting to counter this tendency that we often have is to think of our lead playing rather than in terms of large groups of exercises, if we can cut those down into smaller exercises. However, if we look at what might be a 6-note legato passage, what I demonstrated earlier was that if you can cut that into 2 notes, or cut them up in different ways with strings skipping, or playing them outside of order, or even what I have is I have the tendency to play upwards and get a higher and higher pitch. If I could even stop myself and, say, start at the last note of that and play down the scale, that would at least be different from what I'm used to. And eventually, the familiarity with that pattern is going to increase sort of laterally, because it's like knowing something like the back of your hand, something that you'd know in the dark. Right now I know my way up scales better than I know my way down scales. Now, if I'm playing lead guitar for an extended amount of time, I think it'll be pretty clear to a trained listener. Although it sounds plenty impressive, eventually a trained listener might pick up on that I'm doing a lot of the same thing and repeating a lot of the same ideas. Even just in recording some of those clips now, I can see patterns where I'll tend to play a lot of the licks. One of those tendencies being to do a semitone bend into my final note of a passage. Another repeated passage is the way that I'll end a lot of licks as I go down the neck. It's easy to say what the answers to this are, and easy to say, here are the ways I can improve my playing. However, as many guitar players know, actually implementing these changes takes years. And I think we're all on that journey. I hope that something within my video might be helpful. As I was saying earlier, if we can change the larger patterns that we work into our playing into smaller patterns, I think that'll eventually allow us a larger, more comprehensive grasp of our playing. Hopefully this is helpful for somebody. It's my first attempt at doing a video like this. Hopefully they get better. Once again, this is Daniel Monteith from the rock band Monteith. Some people say we're the best band in the world. Thank you for watching.